أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. One of the issues the Ummah is facing today is the apparent conflict between visual sighting of the moon and lunar calculating the lunar sighting using rational and empirical means, namely mathematics and statistical model. There's nothing as such wrong with using mathematics for the progress of our deen. It has always been part of Islam to utilize the other faculties that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us to facilitate our daily life. However, we should always be cautious whenever we are trying to implement these kind of things. They have far-reaching effects, and we should also learn from what happened to the previous ummahs before Islam, for the present Muslim ummah. The lunar calendar is the basis of all calculation. All civilizations have used the solar and the lunar calendar to mark the passage of time. However, the sighting of the moon is a variable. It's like, in modern terms, is a non-linear problem that does not have exact solution. So the previous ummahs have changed their calendar, the lunar calendar, to either a lunisolar calendar, or they adopted the solar calendar to be more to have a more precise measurement of time. There's a lot of hikmah in using the lunar calendar. Lunar calendar, right now, the favorite pastime with the coming of Ramadan for our Muslim Ummah is now divided into four things. We have the global, we have the local, we have the visual, and then we have the calculation. We want to discuss this part here. Either global or local, it doesn't really matter. The calculation method basically means, so the visual means if the crescent is sighted anywhere in the world, then people will celebrate the Eid accordingly, or Ramadan accordingly. The other part is we will only go by the visual sighting for a local region, which can be 500 kilometers, 1,000 kilometers, depending on how you do it. So you can have a local, regional kind of variation here. Here, the calculation method is global. I don't think there's any local calculation method anyone is following. So here,
Saudi Arabia is following a local.
So Saudi Arabia actually goes through the local. They decide locally what the dates are, and then they don't care about what the rest of the world is thinking or doing. And then there's the global calculation method, where people calculate where potentially the crescent can be sighted, and based on that, then according to the moon time zones, you can have your celebration. However, so let's talk about the calculation method. What is it trying to achieve? That is the first thing that we want to do. So the first thing that the calculation method is trying to achieve is unity, right? That's the first thing that we are told. It will unite the Ummah. Second, it will remove uncertainty of when the Eid is, so I can take my holidays, my vacations in advance, right? So this
and one day of Eid, the same day of Eid.
Yeah. Right?
Unity of people on the same day.
Unite the Ummah, because we will be celebrating Eid on one single day. So these are the two selling points of the calculation method. So let's talk about the calculation method here. So calculation method we should be aware of two issues, not problems, issues with the calculation method. One, there will be different models based on different, scientists and astronomers. Second, dependency on the expert. So let's briefly talk about one and then we'll elaborate on the two. Number one, different model. There could be more than one model trying to forecast the crescent. How would we decide that? How would we decide which one is true or not? Which one is more accurate than the other one? Empirically, if anyone who has studied philosophy of science, empirically two theories can be equivalent, and you have to look outside science and mathematics to decide that. And those are, you have socio-political context, legal context, prejudice, bias that will decide which model will work. So, if you have two models and you decide you don't know how to choose one over the other, has it united the Ummah? So potentially, a region of the world could follow model A, and another will follow B, and this could be on day one, and this could be on day two. Has it solved our problem? I leave you to decide this thing. Has it solved our problem? I'm not going to answer that. The second thing that we would like to discuss is dependency on the expert. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His final message to mankind liberated us from the oppression of the clergy, the lack of better words. We are not dependent on the faraid, the five pillars of Islam. We are not dependent on someone telling us when to do our salah or our song. Why? I'll give you an example. I am in the Sahara Desert. I don't have a watch on me. Can I praise the Zohar Salah? Do I have to go to an imam or a subject matter expert to say, what time is Zohar? No. Same thing with Asr. Same thing with Maghrib. I know when the sun is setting. I do my Maghrib and Isha and Fajr. Unlike other Ummahs, they are dependent on the expert. They have to be, the experts will tell them the alignment of the planets is at this precise time, do your ibadah. We don't have that.
For example, you gave example of Hindu Brahmin.
Yeah, for example, we have in India the Hindus. They will have to.
Kumbh ka Mela, you would tell.
Yeah, the Hindus have the various festivals, and this all based on different astrological positioning of sign in space. For example, the most famous is the Kumbh Mela, which happens every 12 years. You need to.
What are the drawbacks?
You need to go and have the bath in the river. You have to have a precise timing, and this is who tells you that? The astrologer tells you that. He calculates that. Is he right or wrong? We don't know, but we have to believe him. We have to accept him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has removed us from this tyranny of the expert. Mankind was
a lot of people die because of that
theocracy.
Short window of time.
Yes. In the short window of time that people have, precise 1255.59 seconds, 2 million people going into the, trying to do their ibadah. What happens? Stampede. So, mankind was practicing theocracy. Muhammad Rasulullah liberated us. And we are going back to what? The rule of the expert. Scientocracy. How different is it from, we can discuss the merits and demerits. That's not the point here. The point is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us a ni'mah. We have a method that has been coming down since generations. Just because the other people are doing it such way or such way, the Christians were not long ago back. They were observing the crescent. But due to the uncertainty, they moved to the astronomical position. So why? The point I'm trying to make here is: will calculation bring unity, remove uncertainty? That is the question. This is not an attack on calculation method. This is not. There's nothing wrong in using mathematics, astronomy to further the deen. That's how spherical trigonometry and algebra came about. The
What did you
question,
say?
sorry,
What you said?
spherical geometry, trigonometry, and algebra, they were invented to facilitate our deen.
Yeah.
So, the Al-Khwarizmi, the inventor of algebra, in his introduction, Muqaddama, he says the reason, the intention why he invented algebra was to facilitate the laws of inheritance. Because arithmetically it was very difficult to calculate, he invented the method of algebra to facilitate that. I'm not making that up, that's what is written in his Muqaddama. So, would the calculation method remove disunity? Is it because of we are disunited, that's why we are having two Eids? Or is it because we are having two Eids, that's why we are disunited? Think about it. Think about it. The way forward, this is what we are thinking. We are thinking the way forward is, let's go to the calculation method and then we'll become united. Is that the way forward? Or there could be another one. Just think about it. I'm not saying that is the way. I want you to have a logical possibilities. The other possibility is we can become united and then decide what method to go to. These are the only two possibilities. We can remain disunited and go on the calculation method, or we can become united and then decide what method to choose. The choice is ours. Think about it. Jazakallah khair. Sahih?